It cannot be understated how much of an impact the Coca-Cola brand has had on Christmas. Since the 1920s, Coca-Cola has recognized the holiday season as a great time for advertisement. And in 1931, Coca-Cola would commission illustrator Haddon Sundblom to create a new Coca-Cola version of Santa Claus for their advertisements. The modern depiction of Santa Claus that we know today is something we owe to Haddon Sundblom, as the image of the jolly, warm, approachable man in red is something that was truly cemented by the Coca-Cola brand. Sundblom's version of Santa Claus would appear in various painted advertisements in different magazines, posters, billboards, and point-of-sale displays, and it was in 1995 that lightning struck twice for Coca-Cola with the Christmas truck commercial. Coca-Cola didn't just advertise at Christmas time, they set new standards for what Christmas time is. With these commercials, they weren't just selling a drink, they were selling a seasonal event. For families across the globe, the airing of this iconic commercial would signal the beginning of the holiday season. As the old saying goes, the tree doesn't go up until the Coca-Cola commercial's been on. They're these wonderful, lavish affairs. Wintry towns, people coming together, this sense of unity, all as this ginormous, magical red Coca-Cola truck makes its way through town. The truck became like a modern myth. People would take to their towns and their supermarkets for a chance to see that Coca-Cola truck rock up. You'd have huge turnouts with photo ops, news coverage, and for many families, that became a holiday tradition. In the hearts of millions, in the most corporate way possible, Coca-Cola became a welcome holiday guest, positioning itself not as a product, but as a presence, setting the bar for holiday advertisement. So for the past 2 years, the commercials have been completely AI generated. When I first saw the one in 2024, I was like, have they hit hard times or something? Is everything good here, Coke? Are you good? Have you taken some kind of economic hit or something recently that we don't know about? Yeah, once again, Coca-Cola is back with another AI-generated version of the iconic Coca-Cola truck commercial. And I could talk about the economic consequences of generative AI in advertisement. I could talk about the nightmare of ownership and copyright when it comes to AI. There are a lot of ethical concerns when it comes to industrialized use of generative AI, but let's be real, they don't care about that. Coca-Cola isn't really a house guest every Christmas. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They did a great job at putting us under the illusion that their public image was Santa Claus, but let's be real, they've always been more Mr. Burns. Heck, if we look at what Jason Zarda, the founder of Secret Level, the production company, if you could call it that, who created this commercial, had to say, they're all pretty damn proud of how few jobs opened up for this commercial. But he insists that labor concerns are misplaced, in a very easily dismantled statement that I've got up on screen right here from The Hollywood Reporter. So no, I don't expect Coca-Cola or Secret Level or anyone involved in this to really care about the ethical ramifications, because they clearly don't. In fact, they love them. So instead, I just want to put this out there. Coca-Cola spend an estimated $4 billion a year on marketing. Marketing is image management. Marketing is what we just talked about earlier with the holidays are coming and the big red truck. And with the expenditure of $4 billion a year, you're gonna want to make sure that image being maintained is a good one. And I'm here to meet those corpos on their level and explain to them why this is trash, in a way that actually might interest them. So even if we weren't going for AI, even if that was not the method they used to communicate these commercials, changing the medium on the iconic Holidays Are Coming commercial would be a controversial move. I'm a big proponent for animation. I think animation can easily capture all the magic of live action, maybe even more so. But with those original live action Coca-Cola truck commercials, there was a mystique to them that you couldn't really get through animation. There's a sense of authentic togetherness when you have thousands of paid extras coming together, all to see a truck that is kind of just as much a myth as Santa Claus is. There's a tangibility to that. We can put ourselves in the shoes of the people in these commercials. Locations that remind us of the old-timey Christmas markets where many a memory have been made. That lovely mood lighting and the image of Christmas that Coca-Cola solidified. It's a lavish affair. It's a big production. That's the entire point of the commercial. Like a lot of advertising, you are supposed to be able to picture yourself among that. It's an idealized image of Christmas that we all want to be a part of, and Coca-Cola is right at the heart of it. And if you change the medium of that from live action, you are not going to get that same sense of tangible togetherness. And while there are millions of things that you can do better through animation than you can in live action, I think for what the Coca-Cola commercials have been going for, it needs to be in live action. So even just changing the medium of this is going to be a controversial move. But changing it to just animation or computer animation or anything like that would still be 1,000 times better than generative AI. With Coca-Cola's 2024 commercial, we had AI-generated human faces, which are impossible to relate to because they're uncanny. They're lit badly, framed badly, badly composited, they just look bad. It's like a Coca-Cola commercial made by an Instagram filter, but like, worse. For the 2025 commercial, they did away with humans altogether. Now again, personally, I am someone who generally prefers imagery with animals to that of imagery with humans. Those little critters have nothing to prove, so I immediately like them. This guy here could be a dick for all I know. But once again, it flies in the face of what Coca-Cola have achieved with these commercials. That sense of people coming together is completely lost when you have these Disney knockoff animals instead. But okay, if we're doing away with the human component altogether, what's here in its place? I think we're supposed to go, aww, the whole time. And that's it. But what, is Coca-Cola a pet food now? Is Coca-Cola for animals? Why are the animals so excited about the Coca-Cola truck? Do they drink Coca-Cola? Should they be drinking Coca-Cola? These questions here might sound pedantic, but from a marketing perspective, these are all things any sane marketer would ask. When the fuck would a Coca-Cola truck even be running through a sloth's natural habitat? Alright, fine, Coca-Cola trucks don't exactly travel where polar bears are either, but what relation does a sloth have to Christmas? What relation does a panda have for Christmas? Make it make sense. These also look so bad. That isn't what a panda looks like. That isn't what a squirrel looks like. They look uncanny, tacky, cheap, and terrible. And everyone involved should be ashamed. This is what happens when you have resources but no talent. This here completely dodges what marketing is supposed to be. Soft drinks traditionally market from a perspective of, here's a lifestyle that you want to join in on. You want to get in on this. And the tangibility factor of the old-style Coca-Cola commercials with their many extras really feeds well into that. This new one instead says, here's a big hallucinated world where nothing is real and we can't decide how many wheels the Coca-Cola truck has. That iconic truck that gained mythical status always worked because it was oh so real. It's a truck. Now it doesn't even have consistency between shots in the same commercial. 2024's version was, here's a bunch of Uncanny Valley people who don't exist. 2025's version is, look at these Disney knockoff characters. Everybody say, "Aww." And it's smeary, and it's disgusting, and it lacks any humanity whatsoever. It doesn't look convincing, and even if it did, Coca-Cola is supposed to be a prestigious brand. Prestigious brands tend to use terms like handcrafted, bespoke. McDonald's advertise their burgers as 100% British beef, at least over here anyway. I don't think they advertise that way in the States. Because they're trying to sell you on authenticity. No company worth its salt wants to admit to selling artificial products. Sorry, I should say no self-respecting company. They want it to have a little prestige to it. Now here's Coca-Cola with its AI-generated commercial. It's inauthentic. It's artificial. It's literally artificial. Are these words that you would like associated with your brand Coca-Cola? When I go out into my town, I see a lot of food trucks. These are usually small family-run businesses that don't have mega budgets to spend on things like marketing and graphic design. So unfortunately, you see a lot of AI-generated logos and marketing materials on these food trucks. And as a freelance graphic designer, it doesn't provoke any kind of positive reaction out of me. But all the same, it's not like any jobs have necessarily been lost here, because those kinds of small businesses would otherwise be using clip art. AI is the new clip art. And when I see that AI clip art on those food trucks, I think they're clearly struggling to afford to keep their business going and doing what they must. Looking back at the aspirational quality of soft drink marketing, is this aspirational? Is Coca-Cola using AI clip art aspirational? Congratulations, Coca-Cola. Your multi-billion-dollar corporation has churned out an advert that has all of the production standard of a It's Honest Work food truck. A company like Coca-Cola resorting to this looks pathetic. But no more pathetic than the people who worked on it. So the button pushers who worked on this commercial really need to just log off. Because the level of bargaining here that we swear this is artistry, guys, is hilarious. But worse yet, pathetic. I think I'd respect them more if they just said, hey, we got that bag, who cares? Constantly saying so much went into this ad. It was so much hard work, guys. It was so hard. And now people are being mean to me. People don't understand how much effort AI takes. Damn, really built different, aren't we? Barber recently had their ad animated by Aardman, featuring Wallace and Gromit, easily the greatest British export. Claymation is just about the most painstaking form of animation imaginable. Even the slightest nudge of the camera can cause you to have to redo an entire shot. There's no computer tweening, nothing like that, nothing to help you. It has to be done frame by frame, end of story. It is as tough and as disciplined as it gets. And you don't see the Aardman animators online complaining about, oh, it's so hard. Can you imagine if a Marvel movie marketed itself with them going, it was really, really difficult for us to make, we swear. And as if the display couldn't get more embarrassing, Secret Level posted a now deleted behind the scenes video. This video features Coca-Cola.png just being pasted onto the back of the AI Coca-Cola truck, people doing all of their work on a single layer, and Apple Pencils that aren't even connected making little brush strokes. Strokes that do not show up on the image. So, here's the thing. AI exists for convenience. That's the narrative they're going with. It'll just boost productivity. And it's okay to admit that. It exists for convenience reasons. So if it is so hard to AI generate the Coca-Cola commercial, why do it? Why not just do it the old-fashioned way? If AI generating a Coca-Cola commercial is just such a taxing thing, then there's no point in doing it. Get these keyboard warrior babies off the project and get people who can actually handle their craft on it. But then, if so much artistry had to go into this, why fake it? Like, so much of this is just very clearly faked. A lot of the things that these AI tech bro losers complain about are fundamentals. Oh, a node chain. Brother, that's tough, man. Wouldn't want to be in your shoes. So pulling things back to the bigger picture, your image right now is artificial. It looks like you're in the same economic standing as a local food truck. And it's become very evident that these forward thinkers you've hired are just weaklings. No matter how much more realistic it becomes, generative AI is a toy. So when Coca-Cola hands us a Christmas commercial that feels like it was made on a Mattel Viewmaster, it's hard not to laugh at that. But even then, a Viewmaster has physical depth to it. This ad is just the flat, mushy output you get when you let overgrown children play with prompt generators and call themselves professionals. Coca-Cola once set the standard of what Christmas looked like in their marketing. This team, I doubt they're even going to survive the winter. So Coca-Cola, tell me, have you been hit with hard times? Are you poor? Do you need me to hand you like $1 or something? Do you want us to start a GoFundMe for you? Like, what do you need here? What's it gonna take for you to just make a proper commercial? I guess we'll just have to see in 2026, but until then, I'm not gonna be going out of my way to buy any Coca-Cola products. Pepsi's better anyway. Thank you, patrons, especially the ones in the $10 and above tiers. We have Just Another Evil Robot Clone Seeking Revenge, Xanderwolf, Ghostly Phantom, Twilord, KB, Sad Goku, Dare Denny, Kale Bennett, my last name was a reference to the... couldn't even fit it in the whole thing. And Mr. SP, Cyrus the Skeptic, and Biotin. Thank you folks so much for your generosity. We got the $5 tier as well, who are Joseph Tribble, Press-Plated Jason, Gideon Wells, Basic Content, Ben Raven, Reese Burns, Manalza, Goat Cannon, Litzy, Silver, Josh Strider, Grant Allen, Marv Animation, Cho Henshin, RT0, Carl X, SSS06, and Vera Wild. Thank you folks so much for your generosity, and to you, dear viewer, for watching this video, which is now over.